So Marlin, Pruitt, Labonte. As we watch them, my whole point of all that is you got 5 of them right together here. Well, we had 9 of them going to the line together last year. 5, you may be able to fit them across.
Yes, and these are 5 good ones, and if you could see inside their heads right now, you'd see their brains turning gears so fast you wouldn't believe it. They all have a game plan. The guys up in front have a different game plan than the guys in the middle as opposed to the guys in the back. But they're all thinking really hard overtime, you call it.
Well, since the one big incident, as Labonte comes up, almost crushes Pruitt, we've been running steady, and they pushed the last lap up to 194.07 miles an hour, so they're flying.
Now that shows you how fast they'll go, 194 when they're all together in one line. So that proves again that they go faster in line than they do when they're separated. Now look at little Al and Robbie Gordon. They're teaming up together. They're going to try to get by little Scotty so they can get on up and chew on the NASCAR guys there.
Once again, it's NASCAR in front, Marlin and Terry Labonte. IndyCar guys out of formation behind them. Al Unser Jr. is trying to get Robbie Gordon to close up and give him some help. Scott Pruitt sitting high. Maybe it's a point at which they have to quit thinking about individual position and hope they can get a train going to take everybody to the front.
They do, but out of those 3 cars, the white, the blue, and the red right there want to be the leader on that group that's going to be helped out. And from being a little bit selfish there, they're all falling back just a little bit. Scott Pruitt needs to get behind little Al or ahead of him, whichever the case might be, whoever gets into the turn first. Robbie Gordon needs to team up with all 3 of them, and they could probably do it. The 2 NASCAR guys, look at them. They're behaving themselves quite well, staying right there together because they're really used to this.
So the stock car drivers are on point, Marlin and Labonte, but the IndyCar drivers are lined up just behind. Ron, as he comes inside Marlin, at the same time, Scott Pruitt, with Robbie Gordon hooked up, comes to the high side. Now it's 2 and 2. In all ways, IndyCar, stock car, Robbie Gordon sitting alongside Marlin. Al Unser Jr. trying to close in.
You get your best racing when you have them 2 abreast. Now we got 3
abreast for the lead.
Almost 4 abreast right there.
Marlin comes back to the front of the field. He'll be scored as the leader on this lap. Scott Pruitt very tight on Labonte in the gold car.
Little Al back up to second. Robbie Gordon back up to third. Boy, now this is good racing.
Moving to the closing laps now. Marlin in front. Al Unser Jr. second. Then back just a bit. That's Gordon, then Pruitt, and then Terry Labonte. So now at least they have them split. So when it comes to the NASCAR guys ganging up, they can't really do it at this point.
No, they can't. But little Al and Robbie Gordon could. For example, if Robbie Gordon gets up there and does the thing right away, he can push little Al into first, and he can get second instead of third. Well, he should be thinking that. Scott Pruitt needs to gain just a little bit more. He could take Robbie Gordon, push him into second, and he could get into third also.
Oh, and don't forget that Marlin does know how to win here. He's done it in Winston Cup in the fall of '95.
4 laps to go. Now let's see how they start thinking here. Marlin out in front. Little Al's right behind him. Little Al's not going to move from that unless he gets some help.
It's still anybody's game, though.
It's too early for anybody to make a move right now, Paul. But it won't be long.
Scott Pruitt, the light blue car, just on the edge of Robbie Gordon's draft. What do you think? Feeling a bit of it there. Again, Robbie saying, come on, Scotty, get up here.
And little Al's probably telling Robbie, come on, help him. He could win the race. Sterling Marlin in the green car there is hoping nobody helps back there.
3 laps to go now. Terry Labonte seems to have fallen out of contact. Tires or just the fact that he hasn't been able to close?
Well, it could just be that he's hurt his right front tire a little bit. When he raced this hard, remember, laps 191 to 194, it's easy to burn a tire off going those kind of speeds.
As they come off of 2, Labonte about 12 car lengths back. In 5th place, Al Unser Jr. goes to the inside of Marlin, takes the lead again. Robbie Gordon sits high on Marlin.
Robbie Gordon could turn out to be the loser in this. He needs to. Sterling Marlin has followed little Al. He'll get the draft from little Al.
Yeah, but Pruitt's going to come up and help Robbie.
But you see those 2 cars, the line and the red car,
turn toward the white flag. And remember, finishes here have been unbelievable. Pruitt in third, then Marlin, then Labonte is finally back in contact. They're all right together. As the white flag comes out, 1 lap to go.
Now, if there's anything left, this is when it's going to happen. Now, they're all just about even. You've got to do some teaming up on the back straightaway. The front straightaway could still be a factor if they change. Here we are in turn 2. They start teaming up here, start going down the back straightaway. It'll be a crazy race come the finish line.
Down the backstretch. Boy, what are they thinking? Where will they go? What will they do? Remember, you drive this final lap off of 4 a little differently because you don't have to make turn 1 at speed. And that can make all the difference in the world. Marlin looks slow.
Robbie's
Pruitt keeps away from him. Robbie Gordon sits high. They come off of 4. Make the turn down in for the tri-oval. Pruitt moves down to the inside. And Allinger Jr. gets it done as he takes his 10th win in IROC competition. And we've seen history made here today as IndyCar drivers finish 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Unser Jr., Robbie Gordon, and Scott Pruitt. The first time ever IndyCar drivers have been 1, 2, and 3. So with an early-on accident taking out many of the top NASCAR competitors, the Indy driver set a record, and Al Unser Jr. takes the win. We'll be back to talk with him. It's an IndyCar sweep at Talladega. Jack?
Well, Al Unser Jr. takes off the helmet. Al, win number 9 and IROC number 20. 5 cars at the end, but you still had to draft a lot to get to the front.
Oh yeah, I tell you, it was all we could do, really. You know, I kind of felt that Robbie had the strongest engine out there, but then he started going a little bit loose in the corners, and I wanted to be the one to move him up and get by him because he knows that keeping the guy behind you is half the secret in this deal, and so he wasn't letting anybody by, and I knew it was going to be tough to get by him, but then once he broke away from it, then we started mixing it up a little bit, and we could find a partner, and I'm just glad that it was Robbie, really, because he had the strongest engine, and I knew that as long as I could stay in front of him, then he could actually push me, and so that's what we did. We were very lucky to do that and get up front, and you know, I just want to thank True Value and Pontiac and everybody. I tell you, these Firebirds run super.
Did we see the first time maybe IndyCar guys teaming up the way the Winston Cup guys normally do?
Yeah, we were doing it a little bit, but you know, we had to sacrifice every now and then, and Robbie didn't want to seem to sacrifice very much, but Scott Pruitt did, and Scott really worked, and then you know, we stayed behind him a couple times through the race and so on. So you know, once you get side by side like that, you got to lift, you got to get out of it and try to come up from the back, and that's what we did with like 5 laps to go. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Jack, it's actually win number 10 in IROC competition for Al Unser Jr. That accident early on really decimated the NASCAR elements in this run, with really only 2 NASCAR drivers in the run at the end. Let's go back to Jack.
1 lap too short.
1 lap too short. I mean, seems like the name of the game for me in IROC. I ended up second, but championship's looking good. We led for a long time, had a pretty decent car. When the guys would get up underneath me, it'd loosen me up a little bit, and that's how they finally got by me. And then at the end, I just had nobody to go with me again. You know, second race in a row, I had nobody to help me push from by the leader. But had a lot of fun. It was a great time.
Good.
So with 2 races to go now, take a look at what this does to the points with 2 IndyCar drivers at the top of the order and Dale Earnhardt trying to do his best to hang in there. Now, let's go back to Jack.
Well, Scott Al Unser Jr. said that you teamed up with him, but it may have cost you a little bit.
Well, you know, we came into it, you know, really wanting to work together more than anything else. I mean, typically the IndyCar guys give up a little bit. I think we all get a little carried away and end up fighting a bit, but you know, Al Jr. did a great job. We worked together. I mean, we fell way back, and we managed to catch back up. And good for Al, good for the IndyCar guys, 1, 2, 3, and hopefully we can come home with a win next week.
Surviving was the name of the game today.
It was. I mean, that first incident was unbelievable. I mean, I was kind of right in the middle of it. I saw a lot of smoke, and I just kind of aimed right for the center of the smoke. When I got there, it just missed. I don't even know who it was, and came through unscathed. So I was thanking my lucky stars that.
There's a legion of fans here want your autograph.
A history-making IndyCar sweep here at Talladega. The next run is a new venue at Charlotte, North Carolina. You'll see that here on ABC on August 3rd. So the race that started with so much promise, about 5 laps into it, saw this accident that took out much of the competition and left the win to the IndyCar drivers. 1, 2, and 3 with Al Unser Jr. at the top of the order. I'm Paul Page for Bobby Unser and Jack Arute. So long from Talladega.